Mm. we can for next 10 minutes maybe quickly would someone like to share their homework from last week? Hare Krishna, Sharmila Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So, COVID positive, Sharmila Mataji. We must call her.
Yes, Mataji.
Our friend.
Shailaja?
No. I don't have a permission to take name. I just want to say because she just texted me about half an hour ago. We have one friend who was tested yesterday.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
please call her up.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So I'm still waiting for the class to join. So I thought we'll read first, but let's have at least 2-3 people share their homework from last week. So Rekha Mataji, you're raising your hand. I'm sorry. I told you it's not even 4 a.m. for me, so I looked like that. Yes, Rekha Mataji, please go ahead. You're unmuted. Mataji, you can talk. Rekha Sudhir Mataji. Or Sumati Mataji, Hare Krishna. You can.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Okay.
Tirelessly serving us.
No. I am also having a lot of fun. That's why.
So this is about the names. You had
Yes.
given a homework about the different names that the Lord and Arjuna are addressed by in the different chapters.
Yes.
The texts, I'm sorry. So
Yes.
in text 14, Krishna is addressed as
No.
Sorry.
You're talking from chapter 1, different names of Krishna and the verse number,
Yeah,
right?
and Arjuna.
And Arjuna. Yes, Mataji. Sumati Mataji, am I correcting it right?
Is it? Yeah, is it?
Okay, go ahead.
Am
Go ahead,
I?
Mataji. Yeah. Go ahead.
So
Okay.
in text 14, he is addressed as Madhava.
Yes.
And based on the purport, I feel it is they write a lot about why the Pandavas are slated to win. So Madhava, Krishna is with him, and when Krishna is with him, the goddess of fortune. Madhava means the husband of the goddess of fortune.
Yes, okay, good.
So
Next.
she is also with them.
Yes.
So that is this.
Yes.
And there Arjuna is addressed only as Pandava, as a son of Pandu.
Yes.
In that chapter. Then in chapter 15, the Lord is addressed as Hrishikesha.
Text 15. Shloka 15.
Sorry, text 15. I'm very sorry. Text 15. Between Bhagavatam and this, I get confused, Mataji. It's Canto 1, chapter, this text are 3, and here there are only 2. So I constantly keep moving. So it's text 15. Text 15, the Lord is addressed as Hrishikesha, directs the senses of the devotees. So here the Lord controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna. Here he is trying to direct Arjuna's senses into the transcendental mode. So he's Hrishikesha, this is my understanding. And Arjuna is also addressed as Dhananjaya in this text 15. Dhananjaya means winner of wealth.
Yes.
So it says in the purport that he is addressed because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required to make expenditures for the different sacrifices.
Yes.
So then in 20, again 20 there is a Hrishikesha only. Then in 21 and 22, Krishna is addressed as Achyuta. Achyuta, the infallible one. So, infallible or most dependable one. So, he never fails in his affection for his devotees.
Yes.
So, he is addressed as infallible in that he is standing with Arjuna. He is standing by the side of Arjuna through all this. Then again in 24, again the Lord is addressed as Hrishikesha, Lord of senses, and Arjuna is Guda Keshana. So I think you spoke about this in an earlier class too, about the conqueror of sleep, or it could also mean the conqueror of ignorance
Yes.
because of the instructions of Krishna. It's 24. Then 25, he is again addressed as Partha, son of Pritha. Then
Yes.
I find only 29, 31. He is addressed as Keshava, the killer of the demon Keshi.
Yes.
And in 27, Arjuna's addressed as Kaunteya, means the son of Kunti.
Yes.
And it says here that Sanjay is indicating that Arjuna was becoming soft-hearted, like his mother, because the thought of devastation to all his kith and kin was giving rise to a lot of compassion in his heart.
Okay.
And that's what I would
Very
say.
nice. More?
Then 29, 31, Krishna. 32, 33, it's Govinda,
Yes.
who gives pleasure to senses or is fond of cows.
Very nice. More?
Oh.
Did you make a list or you're reading
Yeah,
and
no, I'm reading from my notebook only,
Okay.
not from the thing. I'm
Okay.
reading from my notebook. And I'm sorry, Mataji, this is all I've written.
Mataji, you've done an amazing job. Hari bol. I'm so proud. So anybody else would like to continue? I mean, where she left at
33.
Govinda.
There are
But
two
after
more.
that, after that.
Two. Yes, Mataji. There are two more. In that is Madhusudhana, that is killer of demon Madhu, and the last is Janardhana, maintainer of all living entities.
Very nice. So very nice. Vasudevan Prabhu, anything to be added? You got the same, Prabhu? We pass?
I think, yes, I think the same. Madhava. I think nothing more.
Okay.
Janardhana, Govinda,
Keshava,
yes, everything is
name-
covered, I think.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So name
Except the name
Keshava.
of Krishna, it's the name of Krishna himself.
Yes.
He's been addressed Krishna.
Yes.
Krish is representing darkness. So the remover of darkness, Krishna. Krishna, as it is said, Krishna.
Krishi means it's earth actually.
Can be compared to cloud, Krishna.
Krishna means all attractive.
Yeah.
An anointed one.
Yeah, that's because he has been addressed as Krishna throughout.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Krishi means earth, Mataji, one who gives happiness to the earth. That is also one more meaning.
Okay. Okay. So Krishna means all attractive. It's I think Sharmila Mataji will be able to tell us. We read Science of Self-Realization and self-realize. Rekha Mataji, I could not hear you. You're writing the message, but I could not hear you. So if you're still here, you can still try to speak again.
And Arjuna is also addressed as Bharata. Arjuna. Bharata is a descendant of Bharat. Descendant of King Bharat.
Yes, but
So
which verse?
I think that's 24.
I have Gudakesha in 24. Okay, maybe. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so I think Sumati Mataji, are you still here? Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, I'm here, Mataji.
Okay. Do you want to finish speaking maybe in like 30 seconds, Prabhupada's mood, and then we can start reading?
Yes.
Prabhupada's mood in translating Bhagavad Gita as it is. That makes it a bona fide.
Yes, Mataji. I've written first of all that Prabhupada, he explains like it's about the parampara. he comes in a bona fide parampara which starts with Krishna. So that also I've written it as a point.
Okay.
And some of the Bhagavad Gita writings, he says that the writers have their own agenda, like they have their own personal ambition, why they do the translation. But here it is just to present Krishna's will or Krishna's words. So it is as it is. And he says in one place, Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad, which is the essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. So that is one more thing I found.
Yes.
And so then he says Bhagavad Gita should be taken. I started writing this in my notebook, Mataji, but there were lots to write. So I have marked it here and there in the text. I started off writing, but then I marked it here. Sorry. So Bhagavad Gita should be accepted as it is directed by the speaker himself, where the speaker happens to be the Lord himself. So he mentions that in one place. And then he also quotes the great acharyas. He says, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as is confirmed by all great acharyas like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India. So that's also
Yes.
the mood in which he writes. And he also mentions the submissive mood of Arjuna, why he was imparted this knowledge. So we should also approach the reading in that mood. And he also talks about the transcendental nature.
Okay. So I got few points. Okay. Go ahead, Mataji.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Then he says Krishna is accepted. He says Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is accepted not only by himself, but by authorities like Narada, Ashita, Devala, and Vyasadeva. These are great personalities who distribute the Vedic knowledge as it is accepted by all acharyas. So even these great personalities accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He quotes that. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita should be taken up in a spirit of devotion. And
Very nice. So I got five main points from you. Authorized commentary is no self-motivation of Prabhupada, is not deviating from Krishna to Arjuna, is not changing. Arjuna is receiving and Krishna is saying it's the same thing. Prabhupada is writing in complete surrender and he's quoting references, right? These are the main headings you said?
yes.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much. So thank you. Welcome
Mataji.
everyone. We'll start reading first now, and then at the end, let's have some sharing from the last week. So we are here. We finished till verse 35 or 36. Which verse till we finished?
35.
35. Okay. So we'll start with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
6.
Why is it coming like this? I think I opened a wrong one. 1 second. Bhagavad Gita is this one. Sorry. Bless you, Krishna. Okay. So text number 36 today. That's a very nice verse. And it tells about 6 years. So who's gonna read? One person can read the whole thing today. we read the Sanskrit and English. Tanvi Mataji, you like to read? You can unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Okay. So sorry, I opened the book, but that was a different one. Okay, Mataji, can you see my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, go ahead. Verse number 36.
Okay. Papam eva shrayat asman hatvetam ata hatvetan atatayina tasmannara vayam hantum dharatarastran swabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina shyama madhava.
Very nice.
Translation: sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? Purport: according to Vedic injunction, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. 1. A poison giver. 1. Who sets fire to the house. 1. Who attacks with deadly weapons. 1. Who plunders riches. 5th, one who occupies another's land. And 6th, one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting for any ordinary man. But Arjun was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in the administration of a state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people were anxious to live in his kingdom, Ramarajya. But Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because he kidnapped Rama's wife, Sita. But Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly person are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than kill his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent. So why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsmen? Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhava, or the husbands of the goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as husband of the goddess of fortune, he should not have to induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees.
Yes. 1 second, Mataji. So very nice, Mataji. 1 second. So far, what did we read in Bhagavad Gita? We were reading last week. We just read 2 of the 5 reasons that Arjuna gave that he's not gonna fight. What were the reasons? Anyone can quote the verses? You can unmute yourself or raise your hand.
Compassion and no
Hatred
enjoyment.
and indecisiveness.
Compassion is what
And
verse? Which verse?
27, I think.
Very nice. And this is no enjoyment is which verse? No enjoyment is which?
1.31.
130 to
30.
31.
30.
31 to 35.
32,
Yes.
35.
Very nice. Yes, so verse number 30 to 35.
Yeah,
Uh,
32.
yes. So he starts here. I'm unable to stand any longer. I'm forgetting myself.
Yeah.
My mind is really killer of demon Keshi. So here Arjuna is starting, and then from 31, I think they have mentioned in Mayapur Bhakti Shastri, that's where I got this from, compassion. From 30 to 35, all these verses. And now what reason is he giving in 36th verse? He doesn't want to fight. Why? Because
All is
Sin, committing
sin.
a sin.
Sinful
Sin
wrath.
will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Prabhupada says that six type of aggressors which have to be punished. We must punish. What are they? One is poison giver. Two is sets fire to the house. Three is attacks with deadly weapons. Four, who plunders riches. Five, who occupies another's land. Six, who kidnaps a wife. This is from first canto Srimad Bhagavatam actually. So Kauravas did everything, all
Yes.
six.
Mhm.
So they tried to give poisonous cake to Bhima. They sent the Pandavas to a house which was made of
Yes.
lac, which will easily catch fire. Attack with deadly weapons. They were ready to attack. They have attacked in the past also. One who plunders riches, they did that. They plundered the riches of Pandavas. Or one who occupies another's land. So that also they did that.
Yes.
And also kidnaps a wife. So kidnaps a wife also means that trying to insult a wife. They try to do that. So according to this, they have to be punished, right?
Yes.
He thinks sin will overcome us, but then if such aggressor are at once to be killed and no sin is incurred, I'll change the color and show. Such aggressors are at once to be killed and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. So how can it be sinful? Killing such aggressors. This is Krishna's counter argument is going to be like that. And also the saintliness is encouraged, but whenever there is a duty, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, he's duty bound to fight because of his Kshatriya cult, right? So the personal nature has to take a back seat. That is why Kshatriya is very strong minded. Why so many soldiers today they go to fight and they come back and whole life they're suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, right? PTSD. Every soldier who comes back from the battle is suffering from PTSD now. Why? So many you will see. Why? Because they're not strong-minded. They can't take it, this bloodshed and all. They're forced to go against their nature. So Kshatriya, being a Kshatriya is not an easy thing. It's not just name, okay, I have a Kshatriya spirit. No, the behavior has to be shown. And responsible man in the administration of a state is required to be saintly, but should not be cowardly. It has to be done. So how can it be? A sin? And here Krishna is addressed as Madhava. Sumati Mataji was telling us, right? Or the husband of goddess.
Lakshmi's husband. Yeah.
Is also significant. He wanted to point out that Krishna as husband of goddess of fortune should not have to induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees. Krishna can see more than what we are seeing. A normal worldly person will be convinced with what Arjuna is saying, right? It sounds very convincing to me. Compassion. My grandfather is the object of my compassion. I cannot shoot arrow on him. Sounds convincing to me. Who does it not sound convincing? If we have to stand on the battlefield against our own family, how many of us will not feel weak? Everybody will feel weak, right? So in that way, okay. So we can go ahead. Does anyone has any question in verse number 36? Is it clear? The reason
Yeah,
is
clear. Clear.
Yes.
yes, yes. Vasudevan Prabhu is 100% clear. Anybody
Clear.
else?
Clear.
You all have a permission to unmute yourself.
Clear, Mataji.
Clear?
Mataji. Yeah, we understand.
Tanvi Mataji, you want to go ahead?
Yes, Mataji.
Verse number 37, 38.
Okay, Mataji.
यद्यपि न पश्यन्ति
Yeah. यद्यपेते न पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकं कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन. Translation: O Janardana, although these men, overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, with knowledge of the sin, engage in these acts? Purport: a Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. Under such obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he was challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight.
Yeah. So this is a very important line. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. You cannot be like given emotional blackmailing that do this because it is your duty to do this. No, a sane man should consider what are the consequences of this action. And if the consequences are otherwise, no one is obligated. Bhagavad Gita says that. So we are protected. But we should not use it as a leverage, not to do our duty, but just in case there's a situation ever in life. So from verse number 39 to 42, please pay attention because this is going to be a sequence. And there's a question also which I'll ask at the end. How he's building up as the final reason for him not to fight, coming from first chapter, is the destruction of dynasty. Does anyone else want to read? She's reading so nicely, but Tanvi Mataji, is it okay if I ask anyone else who wants to?
Yes, Mataji, sure.
Anybody else wants to read? Please raise your hand if you would like to read.
I can try.
Who is saying? Parag Prabhu?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have a doubt, Mataji.
Yes.
This obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Is this considered like the mistake of Bhishma also? That he obligated, I mean, he took a vow to protect the throne, and even though the effect was not good, he continued to support and did not speak up against the wrong that was going on.
Could be. It could be. It could be. So what happens is Bhishma is one of the Mahajanas. He's not an ordinary person. There are 12 Mahajanas mentioned in Bhagavatam. And Bhishma is one of them. Mahajana means exalted devotee of Krishna. Bhishma's position is very special. It is explained in 9th chapter of 1st canto Bhagavatam. So Bhishma, whenever Krishna does something, there's always more than one reason. There's always an external reason and an internal reason. So external reason is, okay, Krishna is going to attack Bhishma with a wheel. You know, Krishna is also going to break his vow, right, in the battlefield and attack the chariot wheel to kill Bhishma, because Bhishma is fighting very aggressively and looks like he's going to kill Arjuna that day. But Krishna is going to protect his devotee. And the internal reason is that Krishna actually wanted to have fun in fighting. Now, Prabhupada tells us that in Goloka, Vrindavan and Vaikuntha, everybody is very busy in serving Krishna in one of the 5 relationships, 5 primary relationships. So who will fight with Krishna over there? Nobody. So one of his devotees comes down to the material world, so Krishna can fight. So there are always an external and an internal reason. So externally it appears that he has done this, but internally, which acharyas reveal, is because Krishna had a desire to fight with his friends, and he had to bring someone down for doing it. But yes, very nice analysis. Could be, sounds right to me. That obligation is binding. Actually, there Dronacharya, Bhishma, Kripacharya, all these exalted personalities in the family took side of Duryodhana because of monetary benefits, right? Because they thought that we are getting monetary benefits from Duryodhana, he's maintaining us financially, and now at the time of crisis, we cannot leave. So moral duty. They thought it is their moral duty to fight on behalf of Duryodhana. It actually brings up another discussion, which I think we can take up if we have time at the end. Morality and spirituality are sometimes two different things. So whatever appears moral to a common man may not be spiritual. For example, gopis, they go out in the middle of the night to be with Krishna, right? But is it moral? Prabhupada says, is it moral? No, but it is spiritual, very spiritual, most spiritual. Another example is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj's father is being attacked by Narsimha Dev, and Prahlad Maharaj is standing with a flower garland for Narsimha Dev. Is it moral that somebody comes and attacks the father, someone's father, and the son is standing with a flower garland for the killer? Is it moral? It's not moral, but it is very spiritual, like highly spiritual. We sing every morning and every evening that prayer, Namaste Narsimhaya, right? So morality and spirituality are sometimes non-different, but in that case, they somehow took morality over spirituality. Is it clear, Mataji? That's only I work. Okay. Yes, Parag Prabhu, please go ahead. 39. So please pay attention, everyone. 39 to 42. There is a succession. There is a build-up. How a destruction of dynasty is explained by Arjuna as a reason.
कुलशये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्मा सनातना धर्मे नस्ते कुलं पुत्रस्थं धर्मो भीभवत्युच्यम्. Translation: with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligious practice. Purport: in the system of the Varnashrama institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from the birth to death. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain.
You read all, Prabhu. We'll come back to them later. Please read 342.
Adharma bhibava Krishna pradushanti kulastriya trishu dushtasu vashneya jayate varna sanskara. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the woman of the family become corrupt, and from the degradation of the womanhood, O descendant of Rishi, becomes unwanted progeny. Purport: population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashrama religion's principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of the state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashrama system. On the failure of such Varnashrama dharma, naturally the woman become free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged at risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. Okay. Sanskaro narakayev kuladhanana kulasya cha patanti pitaro resha lupta pindo daka kriya. Okay. Translation: when there is increase of unwanted population, a hellish situation is created both for the family and for those who destroy the family traditions. In such corrupt families, there is no offering of oblations of food and water to the ancestors purported. According to the rules and regulation of fruitative activities, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu, because eating the remnants of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful action. Sometimes the forefathers may be suffering from various types of sinful reaction, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle bodies at ghost. Thus, when remnants of prasadam food are offered to forefathers by descendants, the forefathers are released from the ghostly or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. One who is engaged in the devotional life is not required to perform such action. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of miseries. It is stated in the Bhagavatam. Devashi Bhutatma Naram Pitranam Na Kinkaro Na Nayam Ani Ja Rajan Sarvatmata Yaha Sharanam Sarnyanam Gato Mukundam Parihatya Kartam. Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberations, giving up all kinds of obligation and has taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligation to the demigods, sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Bhagavatam, Canto 11.5.41. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. दोषे रहता कुलघ्राना वर्ण संस्कार कारके उत्साह जाति धर्मा कुल धर्मश्च शाश्वता. Translation: due to the evil deeds of the destroyers of the family traditions, all kinds of community projects, family welfare activities are devastated. The four orders of human society combined with the family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of the Sanatana Dharma or Varnashrama Dharma are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatana Dharma tradition by irresponsible leader of the society brings about chaos in the society, and consequently people forget the aim of life, Vishnu. Such leaders are called blind, and persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nicely read. So this is the sequence. I will go through once and then I will ask you all question at the end. So, so in 38, he said that why should we fight, overtaken by greed? I know this is sinful. I know this is going to lead to the destruction of the dynasty. Duryodhana has no insight. Why should I fight? Because my insight is better than Duryodhana's insight. So that's what he's saying in 38th verse. From 39th verse, he builds on. What is he thinking? He says, first thing is that the elders of the family will be destroyed. And with the destruction of the elders of the family traditions will be gone. And if family traditions of purification to stop, because the younger members, when there are no elders, no one to teach them, they may not practice anything spiritual. They may just have irreligious habits and lose the chance for spiritual salvation. Okay, and then what's going to happen if the younger members, what's going to happen if the elders are gone and younger people or younger members of the family are not practicing religion or the tradition? Then what's going to happen? This is the next thing. The women of the family will become corrupt, because women need to be protected. Everybody's behaving on their own wild way. No one knows what is the responsibility of what member of the family. The women become corrupt, and when the women become corrupt because of free mixing, which is happening in the Western world, right, very freely, then unwanted progeny comes. Children who are not wanted in the society come. So the consciousness of the parents is very important. The consciousness of the parent is directly proportional to the type of child they get, directly. There are 11 sanskaras mentioned in the Shastras, right, for the purification of a human being. And the first sanskara is Garbhadan sanskar. And Prabhupada explains it so many times. Garbhadan sanskar begins even before the child is conceived, even before. So parents are so much responsibility. And the last is called Antim sanskar, right? The last rites. So those are 11 sanskaras mentioned. And this is so serious. Good population in the human society is the basic principle. Basic principle is good population for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress. But if it is not happening, if there is free mixing, if there are no religious practices, then what's going to happen? The power of a woman is in her faithfulness and chastity. These are the weapons. But if the weapons are lost, then the Varnashrama system will come down. Varna Shankara, I am sorry. Varna Shankara, unwanted progeny, takes birth. First is family tradition is gone, elders are gone, then elders are gone, no one is following the religious rites of the family. Women become corrupt, unwanted progeny. Now the whole problem is unwanted progeny. Unwanted progeny creates a hellish situation, not only for themselves or for their family, but for so many, the whole world. There are no offering, and Arjuna is even worried about the ancestors who are departed. Not only the people who are living in the family, what about the people who have departed? No offering of oblations of food and water to the ancestors. What's going to happen to them, Krishna? And then he's giving the reason that because of the unwanted progeny, all the community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. So why are you telling me to do such a ghastly affair? So deep reason he's giving now. Did you all understand? Can someone narrate the reasons? What he is saying? Destruction of the family dynasty. What is the sequence? There is a sequence, right? Can someone, Bidisha Mataji? Yes, Mataji. I will show you verse. You can unmute yourself. Your hand is raised.
Okay, Mataji.
Hi, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Okay, so what is he saying?
So in the verse number 39, Mataji, I'll start from 39. Okay.
Yeah.
From in the verse number 39, basically Arjuna is concerned about the family tradition, breaking of family traditions. And then in 40, because of this family traditions, once they are broken, the women get polluted, and there comes the unwanted progenies. And in 41, this unwanted progenies, they create a hellish life for both the families, and because of them, the offerings to the forefathers are being affected. Then in 42, similarly, the community projects and all family welfare activities are also devastated.
Very nice. So see, these are the 4-step reasoning of destruction of the dynasty given by Arjuna. Thank you, Mataji. So
Hare
who would
Krishna.
like to read the last 3 verses?
Yeah, can I please read, Mataji? Hare
Who is
Krishna.
speaking, Mataji?
Ramalakshmi here.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, Mataji,
Hare
please go.
Krishna. उत्सन्नकुलधर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दना नरके नियतं वासो भवतीत्यनुशुश्रुमा. Translation: O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. Purport: Arjuna bases his argument not on his own personal experience but on what he has heard from the authorities. That is the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnasrama institution by which one has to undergo the process of ablution before death for his sinful activities. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of ablution called the prayaschitta. Without doing so, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities. Aho bata mahatpa. Shall I read the next one also, Mataji? Aho bata mahat papam kartum yavasita vayam yadrajya sukhalobhena hantum swajana mudyathaha. Translation: Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. Purport: Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. 45. यदि मामप्रतीकारम् अशस्त्रं शस्त्रपाणयः धार्तराष्ट्ररणे हन्युः तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्. Translation: I would consider it better for the sons of Dhritarashtra to kill me unarmed and unresisting rather than fight with them. Purport: It is the custom according to Kshatriya fighting principles that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, in such an enigmatic position, decided he would not fight if he were attacked by the enemy. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord.
Very nice.
Sanjaya uvacha evamuktvaarjunah sankhye radhopastha upavishat visujya sasharam chapam sokasham vignamanasaha. Translation: Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Purport: While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, settled aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. Thus, and the Bhakti Vedanta purports to the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Very nice.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna,
you
Mataji.
sing so nicely. Thank you so much.
Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji, you're coming for the first time? I'm sorry, I don't.
Yes, Mataji. Actually, I am attending that 18 days course. Today, it is the first session for me.
Oh, the 3 p.m. class you attend?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ah, okay. Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you. It is my blessing.
Thank you. So his last 3 verses, he's reinforcing that how come, how this battle is full of inauspiciousness, and why I'm not gonna fight. So what are the reasons he gave so far? Compassion, enjoyment, sin, and destruction of the family dynasty. And after he said that, he's reinforcing. See, this is how a great soul talks. They don't talk from their own mental concoction. They don't say my opinion. So I have heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy family tradition dwell always in hell. But so he's basing his argument not only on his personal experience, but also on the authority of the Varnashrama institution. Prabhupada wanted to establish the Varnashrama institution in ISKCON. It is still a work in progress. 1965 so 55 years have passed ever since ISKCON, maybe 54 because he registered in 1966. So 54 years have passed that Prabhupada made ISKCON, and Varnashrama Institute is still in the pipeline. It's not out there yet. Yes, he established farm communities to show that how one can live as a Vaishya, take care of the cows and fields, agriculture, and worship Krishna and set an example in the society. Yes, he established Gurukuls, very, very big Gurukuls. In America, they used to be. Now it's not there anymore. In Texas was like mind-blowing school established by Prabhupada. But now in India, it's there. Mayapur, Vrindavan, the Gurukuls are still there that Prabhupada made. But other things like having a vision of a division of the society based on guna and karma is still not there. Prabhupada wanted the whole world to become like that, the whole world. He was not interested in one tract of land, the whole world. To follow Varnashrama Institute. Because what happens is, when one is following Varnashrama Institute, then they make progress towards the spiritual life because the sinful activities are minimized. People are saving time for spiritual advancement. And over here, the other thought process is mentioned, food for thought, prayashchita. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of ablution called prayashchita. Without doing so, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as a result of sinful activities. This prayashchita, only a hint is given in Bhagavad Gita, right? But in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, the story of Ajamila, Vyasadeva spends a lot of time to describing what is prayashchita. Parikshit Maharaj, when Sukdev Goswami was describing Parikshit Maharaj, the hellish conditions, the hellish planets, and he said that there are so many living entities who do sinful acts, and then they are punished under the supervision of Yamaraj for purification in the hellish planets. And then they come back to the earthly planet and then they commit the sin again. So Parikshit Maharaj stopped his spiritual master right there and asked him, why? You're like, why? You just got punished so heavily in the hellish planets, and the punishments are heavy. They're heavy. When we'll read the 5th canto Bhagavatam, you'll realize I couldn't sleep. I read it in the evening and I couldn't sleep for 2 nights after I read. My God, what is that? So anyway, so there he asked this prayashchita, this kind of a prayashchita, Parikshit Maharaj said he compared it to bathing of an elephant, Hasti Snan. The elephant takes a very long bath in the water, very long, comes out sparkling clean. But the minute the elephant comes out of the river, what does it do? It throws the sand all over its body again. So what is the use of taking such a bath? You spend so much time in the water. The minute you come out, you put sand again. So Hasti Snan. Or Prabhupada gives another example there. The method of confession. In church, it's there, right? That Monday to Saturday go on doing sins, Sunday come and do confession. The church does not propagate that, but people are taking like that. That Monday to Saturday do sinful activity, eat meat, drink wine, engage in every kind of ghastly activity. Sunday come back to the church and confess. Okay, and you get forgiven. But then Monday again go back and start doing the cycle again. Why? Why does one do that? Anybody? Why someone is doing it again and again after being forgiven, after being punished? Why is everyone doing it, or some people are doing it? Yes, Anvya Mataji, Hare Krishna, you can unmute yourself. Hare Krishna, how are you, Mataji?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. It is because of the three gunas and predominantly the Rajoguna or the mode of passion which drives you to sinful activities. Because Arjuna has asked this question to Krishna in, I think, 14th chapter, that why do they commit the sins?
3rd chapter, yes. Yes, 14th chapter is about the modes of nature. Yes, that is also there. But 3rd chapter also he asked, what impels one? Anicham balad, those words were used. What impels one to do sinful activity as if forced to do it? And even if I don't want to do it, I'll still do it. So Mataji is giving one reason, modes of material nature are acting, which is a very good reason. Thank you, Mataji. Anybody
Maybe
else?
the past vasana,
Karmas.
past life
So,
actions also.
so how does that affect past life karma? That is also modes only, na, if you really think.
Mataji, desire and attachment to something.
Yes. Mataji, anyone who starts answering, please take your name. This is a small
Okay.
class. We can know each other.
Yeah. Mataji, this is Kiran Gaukar.
Oh, Kiran Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Yes.
So desire and attachment.
Desire and attachment to enjoy this world. Yes, that's
Yeah.
the lust only, Arjuna. Yes. Kama Esha, Krodha Esha. Yes. Anybody
Hare
else?
Krishna, Mataji, Ram Lakshmi.
Mataji.
Maybe they are not tasted the higher happiness. They are searching for the happiness in the materialistic world.
Yes, very nice reason. Yes, so
Mataji, Maya.
okay,
Because of
yes,
Maya.
yes,
Mataji.
yes, Vasudeva Prabhu.
Vasudeva, yeah. I have wondered. See, in an abattoir, a butcher, he constantly commits the sin of cutting cows and whatever animals are there. But that is his profession, and he does it. That's a sin, but he does it, and he is engaged in that sinful activity. So, what is the prayaschitta for him?
What is the prashita for him?
Yeah.
It's the same
Because
as Gari.
he commits knowing it as a sin, but there's no other go for him because that's his job. He does it.
Yes,
Because-
yeah, we'll come to it. It's a good question. We have had discussions on this topic, yes. But can I just give chance?
Mataji.
Mataji.
Mataji,
Yes.
in 3rd chapter, it is described like
Who is
Moha-
speaking?
Dr. Manjari. Dr.
Ah,
Manjari.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, yes.
Hare Krishna. In the 3rd chapter, it is described like Moha Maya and Yoga Maya. This Moha Maya
Mahamaya.
Mahamaya. Mahamaya and Yoga Maya. This Mahamaya is responsible for all these sinful activities in the material world to get a temporary pleasures. Am I
Yes.
right?
Yes, your answer is very deep. Yes, but may I just rectify one thing? So Mahamaya is not responsible. The living entity is responsible, but under the spell or clutches of Mahamaya, one does it.
Yes.
Mahamaya is not responsible. The responsibility is on us. Yes.
Mataji, actually,
Yes.
Krishna has created this universe such a way that it will flow similar to how water will flow from higher level to lower level. Our thinking will will definitely go from towards a lower level only. Our thinking will go like that only. Krishna has created. So to overcome, to oppose that and then go to the higher level, then we need to put extra effort. Otherwise, the easy way is like we should uh, get attached to the feet of Krishna, so that he will, for him it is very easy to take out, travel in the opposite direction. Otherwise, the nature is like gravitational force, it will go towards the lower level only.
Yes, that's a very nice point. It's a fight.
Falling down
Prabhupada
is
said.
easy. Falling down is easy. Climbing up is difficult.
Yes, so Srila Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is a fight against Maya. So you have to go against the nature. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu. Anybody else? Shobha Malli Mataji, you were raising your hand.
Sorry.
Last, yes,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Your voice is lagging.
Even my answer was the same because we are very materialistic. And one more thing more. Listen, on the time he may slip into, mostly we will slip into tamasic only, not the goodness. Goodness, to go goodness, we have to do a lot of bhakti and a lot of devotion towards Lord Krishna. So only then we cannot do that. Otherwise, most of the time we will slip into tamasic.
Very
So
nice.
always we are under the clutches of Maya in the material world.
Yes. You know, one time I was passing by the Prasadam hall in Gitanagari, and the devotees were talking, and they said, Prabhupada, when he writes, his words are so picturestic. He literally says clutches of Maya, shackles of Maya, as if, you know, like clutched or shackled by Maya. So it is like
Hare
that.
Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Yes. Go ahead. Shobha Malli Mataji, your point is nice. So you're also saying that it is because we are in the clutches of Maya and we are performing activities which are not conducive towards the development of Krishna consciousness. Yes. Anybody
Mataji.
else? Yes. Why are we doing? Yes.
Your voice is breaking. I don't know.
Is my voice breaking for everyone?
No,
No,
Mataji.
No, Mataji, it's fine.
No, it's not.
No. Okay. Mataji, I checked my system, and yesterday one of my students, he sent me a mic also. So there's a mic also attached to this computer today. Because Namanishta Prabhu was like, you have to put a mic, you have to put a mic. And then he keeps saying you have to put a better lightning. Anyway, so anybody else? So far I got the reasons, that lust, and the other thing is we're in the clutches of Mahamaya. And the other reason I got, I didn't write down. I generally write what you're all saying. Other reason we got was we have a desire to enjoy the material world. Anybody else? Anything else? Why? Question is why somebody, despite of being punished in the hellish planets, forget about this world's jail, hellish planets, or going and confessing in the church on the weekend that I did this and is forgiven. Why does one do it again? So out of the 4 reasons, any other reason? And Kartik Prabhu mentioned it is against that we have to put extra effort to go to Krishna, because our natural tendency is to do things which are not conducive to Krishna consciousness. Anybody else?
Mataji, similar to that, Srimati here.
Okay, there are too many people speaking. So can you all raise hands so I can choose? Anvaya Mataji, you're raising your hand. Would you like to speak?
Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji, one reason, like the bottom line of everything is you are forgetting Krishna in all your activities.
Yes, so this is not Mahamaya under the influence of...
And in Mahamaya, the other thing is when you said you go to the hellish planets and again come back. So when you come back in this world, you don't forget the earlier births, like how hellish it has been and what you have gone through. And then the tendency is like you are separate from Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, but if I may say that is, we forget about the last birth. A person who's committing sin in this birth and they go
Yes.
to jail and they suffer for many years, but they remember now and they come out and they again do it. So even remember or don't remember, the tendency is not gone. So my question is very foundational. Why is the tendency not gone? Where is the impurity sitting? But Mataji, your point is good. Not forgetfulness of Krishna.
Yeah. Okay, because they haven't ever had a spiritual guru or someone who has, not emphasized on them about the importance of the divine name and what it can do to them.
That is a very nice point. So the guru only gives principles. Yes, that's there, but the responsibility is still on my hand.
Yeah.
Like my Guru Maharaj, whenever I speak to him, and I always say, Guru Maharaj, I have this question, and he always gives a principle. He never tells my personal situation, what should I do. For example, I'll give you one example. I reached out to him when COVID started and we relocated. I packed up with my children and moved to Gidanagri. We lived there for 3-4 months. And I reached out, Maharaj, what should I do? It's very hectic. My work is 2 hours away. Every day I'm driving 2 hours and it's affecting me. Maharaj said, the principle is that take care of the children first. And whatever one has to go through, one must go through with dignity, or the other option is leave a job. Leave the job, he said, for the time being. But so what I'm trying to say, your point is very good, that we need a guru who can show us the right path, and they did not have an opportunity to have the guru yet. That's a very beautiful point, Anvaya Mataji. Yes, Priya Mataji, I want to give chance to everyone.
Hello.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, actually, I feel is the person who is doing the sin continuously all the time, they have not tasted the real happiness in the world. So once they have tasted the real happiness in the world, they are not going to do the sins again and again and again. So they are being searching for the real happiness in the world. That's the reason they are doing for these many sins. And they did not get a good guru to follow of all these things. That's the reason maybe they are doing all these things.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you,
Hello.
Mataji. Mataji, you are coming for the first time, Priya Mataji?
Yes, ma'am. For this class, I'm coming for the first time and understanding that 18 days class, 3 o'clock, I'm regular for that, ma'am.
Oh, welcome, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Sumati Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
No, Mataji, it's something similar. I just wanted to say they may be bereft of the spiritual strength or self-realization needed to control all this lust and all the things that come.
Yes, so the self-realization and control of that.
It's almost similar to
Mataji, I can say
Hello.
something.
Mataji, one second. We are going in a sequence. People have raised hands, so I want to give chance. And then...
Okay.
So Nitesh Prabhuji, yes, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
First is ethical value. From childhood, we have to develop ethical values in every person. Then he will understand what is wrong and what is right. Once if he understand what is wrong, he never do the mistake. Next is self-satisfaction. If once he tastes a bad thing, it will attract automatically. He always attract. In that time, he needs spirituality. So ethical values give spirituality. Next is, are you getting? My voice is clear, ma'am?
I'm writing. You're a scholar now. You have a school, so you are dangerous. I'm nowhere near you. Yes, I'm writing. Go ahead.
Next, ethical values I told means myself in the age of 20, we are attracted by bad things more. That time we need mother. Mother is to be a good friend and father to be a good friend to make us understand that is wrong. You don't do that.
Yes, so the ethical value over, self-satisfaction need is over, anything else.
And next, we always want to satisfy our family members. Their force is there. We want this one, we want that one. In that way also, sometimes we do mistakes.
Okay.
Okay, over. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Vaskavan Prabhu, I know you have been wanting to talk and you
Yeah.
have problems raising hands, so please go ahead, Vaskavan Prabhu. Vasudevan Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
The thing is, the person who is committing the sin, he must develop an inclination to flush out the dirt from his system. Unless and until he does that, he's going to commit the sin again and then again and again.
So where is the dirt sitting in the system? You're hitting the nail now. Where is the dirt sitting in the system?
That's because he's attached to, for instance, lust. So if he wants to come out of that, he should flush out that tendency to go in for that lust. That is only through devotional service.
Yeah,
Very
answer,
nice point.
Mataji.
You have hit
May
the
I
nail.
answer?
1 second,
May I
Mataji.
answer? May I answer?
Mataji, you are next. You are next. I know. But Mataji, give me 1 second. Vasudevan Prabhu, you are hitting the nail almost. Okay, I'm so proud of you. One question you're saying, the cleaning the dirt from the system. So according to the Shastras, where is that dirt sitting? Where is that dirt? Which is the dirty part?
May I answer? May I answer?
Yeah, may I answer?
So I have a very enthusiastic class. So Vasudevan Prabhu, do you give permission to someone else to answer?
Yeah, please, sure.
Okay, so Manjari Mataji, you are next. Parag Prabhu,
My answer is that dirt is to be removed from your forgetful soul. Means,
okay. Okay.
Means we forget whatever has happened in the previous birth. So all sins we have committed that are forgotten. But Lord Krishna remembers everything.
Okay.
Means every birth and every deeds done by individual soul.
Thank you. Vijayanti Mataji, yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. People are like timely happiness, they are wondering, but they are not going for the final thing, what is going to happen. Chapala chitta. People are chapala chitta.
Yeah, people know we are also chapala chitta. We should take it internally before giving it externally. Yes, you're very right. That's my basic question. Why is someone not able to get rid of a tendency? Where is the problem? Where the nail? Your point is nice. Flickering happiness. Chapala sukha means flickering happiness. Yes. Did I interrupt you, Mataji? Please go ahead. Anything else you wanted to say?
That's it, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vani Palani Mataji.
Yes, ma'am. The mind is not being mastered. What I feel is desires are taking the lead than mastering the mind. That is what I feel, Mataji. Because that is why we are being punished. Again and again, we are doing the same thing. Minds are not being controlled. It's not being mastered.
Parag Prabhu.
Hare
Yes, thank you, Vani Mataji. Parag Prabhu, yes.
Hare Krishna. Actually, I'm talking about the lust, which is sitting in your Indriya, man and brain. So for Indriya to clean up, you need to engage yourself in seva. For mind, you need to do chanting, and for brain, you need to have the perfect knowledge. Then only it can be cleansed.
That's a deep answer. What is your reference? That's a
I
very
just
nice.
read one book today morning, so it was mentioned.
Which book is it? If I may ask. If I may ask, which book is it?
Ramayana means Ramayana. There is a book one Prabhuji has written, so I was reading that book.
I have one. Okay. I have the one Vidwan Gauranga Das that he translated Balkant last year. Do you have that one?
No. It was different one. It is a small book, but small stories from Ramayanas are there, and from there the teaching we can get from those stories.
Okay. Thank you. Poonam Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, because of the wrong friend circle, because of bad company.
Yes, a man is by his company. That is a very nice answer. But why am I not able to give up that kind of a company is my question.
It's like a habit because once the person goes into the wrong friend circle, the wrong company, like suppose somebody is drinking, so it's very difficult for that person to get rid away from that thing. He keeps searching for the wrong people.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Tanvi Mataji, and then Srivalli, and then RW. Yes, Tanvi Mataji.
Mataji, I think it is because we do not have a strong purpose. Like Maya has much stronger purpose than we have. We are more relying on our imperfect senses.
What is
To
Maya's purpose?
draw away to draw us away from Krishna.
Okay.
And a spiritual and devotional life. I mean, to keep us in her clutches all the time. That's what Maya purpose is, and she's
Yes.
doing her job nicely than what we are doing.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Very nice point. Shivalli Mataji. Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I think as long as this I is there, me, as an individual entity, as long as we have that tendency, we'll keep on doing and we'll keep on receiving the punishment. Because as they say that the mind cannot stay quiet for even a second. And as long as we are thinking and we are existing, I think we are committing hundreds and thousands of sins every moment. Either we know it or we don't know it. So if we come into this world, we will commit sins. And for that, again, we'll get punishment. So I think the only way is to escape the cycle and surrender and think that you're a part of the Lord and not a separate existence, at which point the question of me and I want comes.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you. A nice point. RW.
Hare
Mataji.
Mataji.
Oh, Rohini. Oh,
Yes,
Rohini Krishna. Oh.
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I feel they are resistant to change. Like anything that we do, if it is even bad, we know it is bad. Like we are drinking, we know if we are drinking alcohol, it is bad for health. But we still want to do it, even after knowing the side effects of it. So in life also, even after we know that, you know, we are doing something that is sinful, but we still continue to do it because somewhere we don't want to change.
Yes. But why we don't want to change it?
Mataji, may I answer?
Mataji, 1 second.
Mataji, may I answer?
Mataji, Roja Mataji is next. Let me give her a chance.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So why we continue to do this is because we think that we are the body, whereas we are not the body. We are the soul. We spend all our time in actually satisfying these senses. That is why we go towards all these things. So the moment we think that we are not this body, we are the soul, and we try to cleanse the mirror of the soul with we cleanse the dust that is on our soul. That's when we probably will go towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Very nice. Mataji, who was speaking? Who was saying, may I answer? Sorry, I don't know the name.
Reshmi Mataji.
Reshmi Mataji, yes, Mataji. Because you had already spoken once, I thought your hand is raised by mistake. Go ahead, Mataji.
Mataji, I was also listening to Namanishta Das Prabhu's lectures before I joined your class, Bhagavad Gita class. There he was saying something which struck me a lot, which registered in my mind. One thing is that God has given us a lot of freedom, and we are choosing. He loves us so much that he has given us the freedom to the free will. So that could be one reason that we are wanting to live like God, but somehow we stumble. That could be one reason why we are suffering.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. So everybody got a chance, whoever wanted to speak, or is there anyone who didn't? Because I want to do 2 questions from this chapter also.
Mataji, I just want to say that the perfect knowledge has not dawned. And that is why one is performing sinful activities.
Yes. Okay. Ignorance. You're saying ignorance is bliss.
Mataji, can I say?
Mataji,
Yes.
can I say?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Go ahead. Jyoti Mataji, go ahead.
Okay, so people do that because they don't regret it. So if one should do prayaschitta, they should feel paschatap, like regret. If they feel that heavily, then only they will change.
Yeah, that is there. But my question is, why is one not regretting?
Hello.
That's my
Hello.
Yes, you're right,
Mataji,
Mataji.
can I tell once more?
One more Mataji was saying, may I answer? That's why I request.
Sorry. Sumati Mataji, but my hand was already there. So you might have thought I hadn't
Yeah, so you spoke,
Yes.
so that's why
No,
I thought
I don't know if this was already covered. It's a very basic thing, just the regulating senses, the mind and the intelligence.
okay. Yeah, thank you,
So that
Mataji. Yeah,
should.
that's a nice point. Yes, Kartik Prabhu.
Mataji, what I got in mind is like whatever present in this material world is Mishra Sattva. That is a mixture of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. There is no Shuddha Sattva material here. So anything which is not pure Sattva will automatically attract the impurities. So only Krishna related things like Krishna Vigraha and Krishna's related activities will take us to the Shuddha Sattva nature. So that is my
Yes.
opinion. So since it is Mishra Sattva, that's why it is attracting us again and again.
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu. So that's so that I think Anvaya Mataji had said the same thing, that modes of material nature. Mataji, you said like that, right? Modes of material nature are acting, mode of goodness, passion.
Yes.
So
Yes.
everybody gave very nice
Yes,
reasons.
I think.
Go
I
ahead,
think.
Prabhu.
Hello.
Vasudevan Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, I think one point that has not been covered is the built-in obstinacy in a person that has got to be wriggled out. For instance, the case of Duryodhana, he knew very well, his own younger brother was constantly telling him that what he was doing was not right. But in spite of all that, even his gurus were telling that what he was doing was not right. At one stage, even his father, Dhritarashtra, himself told him, indirectly or directly, that what he was doing was awfully sinful. But in spite of all that, obstinacy that is built in Duryodhana resists that he should change, and he goes on committing sins. So that is one thing. Obstinacy should be wriggled out.
Yes,
And
okay.
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. So very nice reasons everybody gave. Thank you so much for participation. All the reasons are very nice and very heartily portrayed, if that is even a word. But there's one more thing. Because the heart is impure. Sukhdev Goswami answers Parikshit Maharaj at that point, because the tendency to commit sinful activity is not gone. That's why we commit sin again and again. Why the tendency is not gone? Because the heart is impure. The impurity is sitting in the heart. Like Paramatma is also sitting in the heart, like that impurity is also sitting. So when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the first thing that happens is, as explained in Sikshashtakam prayer by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Marjanam means cleaning. Cheto means consciousness. Darpana means mirror. So the mirror of the heart is cleaned. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. Then there are 6 other things which happen once the heart is cleaned. The heart is not cleaned. And then everybody, it includes everything. Lust is sitting there, desire to enjoy sitting there, serve family sitting there, not following the ethical principles sitting there. But basic thing is because the heart is filled with dirty things from time immemorial. So that kind of a prayashchita has a better effect, where we clean the heart rather than cleaning the superficial punishment. Superficial punishment cannot win the heart of a person. Like superficial conversation also cannot win anyone's heart. Neither the person who's talking will be satisfied, nor the person who's hearing will be satisfied. Okay, so the question is 6 kind of aggressors. Please, anyone, raise your hand. So people who have raised hand, please lower your hands, because I get very confused whether you're raising now or was it been raised. 6 kind of aggressors, what we read in 36th verse. List 6 kind of aggressors. Question number 9. Anvaya Mataji, yes, you just raise your hand. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, 6 aggressors are: one is who gives poison, one who sets the house on fire,
Very nice.
one who is the kidnapper of the wife,
Yes.
one who kills by weapons,
Yes.
one who
Except
occupies
the land.
another's land,
Yes.
and one who plunders riches.
Very nice.
Yes.
So these are 6 kind of aggressors, and they must be killed. Spirituality is not about letting go of the anger. It is not. It is not about letting go of the anger. It is about regulating the anger. How can we get rid of anger? It has to be regulated. Okay, list the progressive steps leading towards destruction of a dynasty. We read this today. Priya Mataji, yes Mataji. What are the progressive steps leading towards the, or Komal Mataji, go ahead. You didn't speak today.
Hare Krishna. One is the family tradition gets destroyed, and the younger ones won't be devotional then.
Yes.
And then second comes the woman of the family becomes corrupt, because if parents are not conscious, then the child won't be spiritual. Then the third one will be unwanted progeny,
Propensy.
sorry, and that creates hellish.
Yes.
And I think the fourth one was it destroys
Varna
the family
sanskar.
traditions and the what do you call, the offerings to the forefathers doesn't happen.
Yes. And then there's one more. Community projects and what was that? Community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. So the dynasty is destroyed. I think this is the last question. So we finished chapter 1. I would request each one of you to please go back and read again on your own. About the homework, can we sit next week little longer? I will have time. I will not have to rush to a 3 p.m. class because it's going to be over. Is that okay if we sit little longer next week? And is 1:15 time okay with everybody?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Mataji.
If someone has any issues, please feel free to message on WhatsApp. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 22, verse number 100. We hear, right, surrender, surrender, surrender. So surrender actually is deep. It's not superficial. Surrender to Krishna. The 6 divisions of surrender are acceptance of things favorable for devotional service, rejection of the unfavorable things, conviction that Krishna will give the protection, acceptance of Lords as one guardian or master, full surrender, full self-surrender, and the 6th is the humility. Humility is also an ornament of surrender. So the surrender entails all these 6 things, and this is explained very nicely in Nectar of Instruction. So once we are finished with Bhagavad Gita, we should read Nectar of Instruction. One more announcement I have. I'm going to share one Google form with all of you. Please fill it up and please give it to me. Only I will get it. No one else is getting this form. I want to know how many of you are chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds or how many rounds. And if you all are interested in knowing Prabhupada Ashraya and taking Prabhupada's shelter. I made the form. I'm going to share it today. So please share, before next class, if you can fill it up and submit. And if you don't want, if you're not chanting, it's fine. It's fine. I just want to know. It's not a judgment. I had a video of Prabhupada to show. Let's see if I can, how many minutes it is. It's 7 minutes. Okay, let's see. Can we see?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And I have
You exist.
Clear ಇದೇನು ತೋರ್ಸಕತ್ತಾರ ನೋಡಿ.
That's clear. Okay. So therefore, the conclusion that when he will not have this body, he will have another body. You are sitting here. If you don't sit here, you go. That does not mean you are sitting, opportunity is lost. You are sitting here, you sit somewhere. Similarly, the change of body is going on. Therefore, the conclusion is that after you give up this body, you will have another body, as you have already done. What is the difficulty to understand?
The same difficulty is that while the body is different from that of a bull.
Different body must be defined. Therefore, that is called change of body. Unless it is a different body, what is the change?
The memory is there. The boy, and only the spirit is there.
The memory, sometimes we may not remember, just like this child, he may not have memory when he was very small, but you have got memory. When he was a small child, you are doing something, or he was playing with some cats and dogs, but he does not remember that. But you remember it. So, simply because he has forgotten, does that mean that the incidences were not present? So this argument is not very strong because I cannot remember. You do not remember so many things. But the fact is this, that you are changing from this body to this body to this body. Therefore the conclusion should be, after this body I will accept another body. And that's a fact. As you have accepted in this life from one body to another body, there is a process how to accept it. Similarly, under the same process, you accept another body when this body is no longer useful. Just like at night, you give up this body, you take your subtle body and you go somewhere. You are sleeping in your room, but you are working in a different place. Don't you do that? So, because this body is still useful, therefore you come to back again this body, and in the morning you wake up with this body. So death means when this body is useless, you do not come to this body, you accept another body. This is called death.
Okay, I will share this link. People are having problem in the other Zoom class. So I will share this link of Prabhupada's little 7-minute video. So we'll meet next Sunday then. Thank you everyone. And I will post so my request is if you can all read verse from 2 to 20, from 1 to 20, second chapter until 20th verse, and also reread this chapter if you get time. Okay. Pancha kalpatarubhascha kripa